What's up, Bills Mafia? Welcome to episode 4 of the new 2024 season. Sorry that I didn't get an episode out to you guys last week. I actually went to the Bills-Dolphins game in Miami last Thursday. It was a hell of a victory. And then I actually flew straight to Hawaii from there. And then I was there for a week, so I just did not have the time. So I went to that game against the Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. It was epic. We spanked that ass. Got a group of guys that I've been going to this game with for a bit. One of which was a very unhappy Dolphins fan this year, as you can see in this picture. You know, this was right when the storm started to brew for him, right when things started going downhill. You guys actually might recognize this guy. This is my buddy Josh. He had his viral moment last year at the Chiefs-Dolphins playoff game in Kansas City when it was negative 20 degrees, and this guy decided to take his shirt off. And, the camera zoomed in on him, and he went viral. That was his 5 minutes of fame. So he always goes to this game with me every year, and he was, to say the least, not happy, which, who could blame him? The Dolphins played like shit. They looked like absolute dog shit. We came into their house, destroyed them. I think the Bills are now 11-1 in the last 12 times they played the Dolphins. So, yeah, we pretty much own their soul at this point. Basically, until otherwise, Josh Allen is the Dolphins' dad. And that's just how it's going to be until that they can, show us otherwise. But yeah, it was great to get a front row seat of James Cook having 3 touchdowns. As you can see right here, I had a really nice clip of this. I didn't get a lot of as much footage as I would have liked from this game. Mostly just because I was so wrapped up in it, I wasn't really thinking about my phone, so I only got a couple of good videos. That was an awesome game. I mean, you had Jamarcus Ingram with 2 interceptions, one of which was a pick 6 that he took all the way to the house. Christian Benford had an interception. Von Miller had another sack. Defense showed up, even with our defense being as banged up as it is, and our offense played great. Josh Allen didn't have to do much, which was a nice refreshing change to have our run game just kind of, get it done for us. But yeah, on to this week's game against the Jaguars, which was another great victory for the Bills. Honestly, from start to finish, this was basically the perfect game. You couldn't really ask for more. Josh Allen having 4 TDs in the first half of the game. James Cook started off the day with a nice TD run on the first drive. Then Kincaid with a 6-yard TD, his first of the season. I know all my fellow Kincaid fantasy owners were happy to see Kincaid finally get going here. That was a nice relief for all of us. Then Keon Coleman, also on my fantasy football team, which I've had on the bench for most of this year. But he had his first NFL touchdown for 24 yards, followed by a 27-yard TD by Shakir, and then a 16-yard TD throw to Ty Johnson right before the end of the half, which was, you guessed it, his first TD of the season as well. So with the Bills taking such a commanding lead early on, after that, Josh Allen didn't have to throw any more TDs for the rest of the game. He only threw for another 16 yards. He went into halftime with 247 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then he didn't have to throw any more touchdowns. We mostly just ran the clock down the rest of the game. Josh Allen got taken out of the fourth quarter because there was just no sense in leaving him in there after we were ahead by such a big margin. But not only did the offense play completely lights out, but the defense also continues to impress. Even with all these injuries, no Taron Johnson, no Terrell Bernard, no Matt Milano. But the defense keeps showing up. Holding the Jaguars to only 10 points. Von Miller had a 3rd sack in his 3rd game in a row with a sack. So it's really nice to see Von Miller come together like this. I think he's kind of the surprise of the season for us. 3 games in a row with a sack. That's awesome for him. Epinesa also had his first sack of the season. Damar Hamlin with his first career interception from a very badly thrown ball by Trevor Lawrence. We had Brian Thomas Jr. completely wide open running through the middle, and he just missed him. And it went right into Damar Hamlin's hands. But, it was awesome to see Damar Hamlin get his first career interception like that. There's a lot of guys getting their first big plays this season this week. Jamarcus Ingram also continued to make big plays with a sack. Carrying over from his momentum from last week. Yeah, the offensive line continues to look really good. We went in this week with the 4th best offensive line in the league. So this is probably the highest level that our offensive line has been playing in a long time. It's awesome when you have guys that are just stepping up and making big plays. Even when we have some crucial guys getting injured. Next guy just steps up, does his job, and it's like we don't even miss a beat. So the Bills, here we are at 3-0, 3 great wins in a row. And I love the way our offense is playing right now because it's like I said before, selfish Stefon Diggs is out, and now it's just unselfish. Everybody gets theirs. Everybody gets their moment. Josh Allen doesn't have the pressure to have to force the ball to a certain person or else, have to worry about him being in his ear after the game. This is awesome. It's just a completely unselfish offense. Everybody gets their moments. The ball gets spread around. There's no divas complaining about not getting the ball enough. I mean, we could not look any better than anyone expected us to do after Stefon Diggs' departure. And that's the thing. All of us Bills fans, we knew that it was going to be like this. We knew that it wasn't a big deal that Stefon Diggs wasn't on the team anymore. I mean, we all saw him completely disappear the second half of the season last year. So I think that from the outside looking in, guys are sitting there like, oh, no Gabriel Davis, no Stefon Diggs. You guys are missing all these playmakers. Who are you going to throw the ball to on offense? And it's like, guys, we have Josh Allen, and we have plenty of capable wide receiver twos that can step up and make plays. And we all saw this coming. We all knew that it wasn't going to be. It felt hugely with Stefon Diggs being out of the picture. And big surprise. Here we are at 3-0, looking just as good as we did when Stefon Diggs was on the team, if not even better. Because like I said, now we're just spreading the ball around and we're not as predictable of an offense. And Joe Brady doing an absolute fantastic job calling plays. I mean, this guy's offensive play calling is phenomenal. Throughout the entire game, his play call was outstanding. Really couldn't have looked any better. So now we got the Ravens Sunday, and I believe that is an away game. Let me just double check that real fast. I know it's a primetime game. It's going to be Sunday night. Yeah, and that is going to be in Baltimore. So this is going to be probably our toughest game of the year because all the teams we have played so far have not been great. So I know a lot of people in the NFL are probably saying, like, okay, yeah, big whoop. The Bills beat the Dolphins, the Cardinals, and the Jags. Pretty much three dumpster fire teams for the most part, with the exception of the Cardinals flashing little bits of light here and there when they beat the Rams last week. But, otherwise, haven't really played a very strong opponent yet. So the Ravens, although they don't look as good as they have in the past, they still are a solid team. So if we can go to Baltimore and beat them in their stadium and go 4-0, that's a really good sign for us. But all right, that's all I got for you guys this week. I'll see you next week. Go Bills.